going from the dilemma to the trilemma, using Lewis's trilemma, but on Muhammad, I guess we could say that Muhammad was either a prophet, liar, or lunatic. Perhaps we could say he was possessed, so that might be a quadrilemma, I don't know. But what would you say he is, given your research on him?
I think you could make a case for several of those, except prophet, except true prophet. I think you can make a good case for liar. Not with everything, because I mean, I apply the same standard to everyone. When Muslims say Paul was a liar, it's like Paul was willing to endure torture and eventually death for what he's proclaiming. Same with, a bunch of the apostles and so on. So I have to take them seriously that they weren't lying. Liars generally make poor martyrs. So when Muhammad's out, when he's being persecuted or risking death in battle and stuff like that, it's like he seems to believe that he's a prophet. And so I can't just say he's lying the entire time. There are certain instances, because you have a bunch of them, where Muhammad receives revelations that seem to have no purpose other than giving him something that he wants.
Like?
So I mentioned Muhammad and Aisha. Mm-hmm. So Muhammad married this girl when she's 6, and it's based on a revelation, right? So he said he had a dream about Allah giving this 6-year-old girl to him as a gift, right? So maybe he did, right? If I had a dream about a 6-year-old girl, I want to go see a psychiatrist. I wouldn't think, oh, I guess she's mine, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. So maybe you think, okay, maybe he did have a dream about her and he took it as a revelation. When Muhammad took the wife of his own adopted son. So Muhammad originally had an adopted son named Zayd. And Zayd married one of the most beautiful women there were, Zainab. And then Muhammad goes to visit his adopted son one day and sees Zainab almost naked. She was wearing basically like a nightie. Mm-hmm. And then he walks away praising Allah because he concluded that since he desired her, Allah was revealing that she's going to be his. So Zayd divorces her so that Muhammad could have her, right? So Muhammad has an adopted son. Adopted son has a beautiful wife. Muhammad sees her almost naked, gets attracted to her, concludes that she's for him. His adopted son divorces her specifically so that Muhammad could have her. But then Muhammad gives the reason from Allah, because everyone starts saying, you can't take the wife of your own adopted son. They regarded that as the same as incest, basically, back then. So they regard that as like incest. Then Allah has to explain why he told Muhammad to do that. It's not me. Allah ordered me to take that woman.
I didn't even want to.
Yeah. I had to have her because of Allah. And Allah explains it. Anyone who wants to read it? Surah 33, verse 37 of the Quran. I kid you not, Allah says, the reason I needed you, Muhammad, to marry the wife of your own adopted son is because other people are wondering if they can marry the wives of their adopted sons, and I need them to know it's okay.
Okay.
Now, how many people do you know of, ever, in history, who really struggled? Can I take the wife of my own adopted son or not? I don't know. I need an explanation from God.
Yeah.
So that's just silly for multiple reasons. So now suppose it was Allah looks around and says, wow, there's all these guys wondering if they can take the wives of their own adopted sons out there. What am I going to do? I know, I'll have Muhammad marry the wife of his own adopted son, and then they'll know. Well, couldn't you have just revealed that? Like in the Quran, just said, okay, in case anyone's wondering whether you can take the wife of your own adopted son, yes, you can. Why do you need Muhammad to do it? You don't need Muhammad to do everything that you're saying is okay. You can just say it in the Quran. So you didn't need that. That's the point. One, it's an absurd. I've never heard of anyone wrestling with that. Two, even if there were, Muhammad wouldn't need to do it. Allah could just reveal it. But three, there's a worse problem. Also in Surah 33, since people are accusing Muhammad of incest over this, verses 4 to 5 of Surah 33, Allah abolishes adoption.
Oh.
So think about this. Adoption is abolished in Islam. You can take care of an orphan in Islam. You cannot adopt an orphan into your family. The orphan does not become part of your family.
Uh-huh.
So wait a minute. He said, so think about you getting it right.
Yeah, it's like time in, I can marry her. Time out, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, so,
time back in. Yeah.
So that's the point. Allah is saying, Muhammad, you have to do this so that everyone understands it's okay. Oh, by the way, it's never a situation that's going to arise again because there's going to be no more adopted sons. It's like, okay, this is just completely idiotic at this point, right? Wow. Those are the sorts of things where it looks like Muhammad's just trying to justify every perverted desire that pops into his head. And there's plenty more. Like the Quran says Muslims can marry up to 4 women. Muhammad had at least 9 wives at one time. Why? Allah gave him a special revelation, Surah 33, verse 50. Okay, you get more. Well, it sounds awfully convenient, right? That the one receiving the revelations is getting all these special privileges. I'll give you another one. Surah 66, verses 1 to 2. It just says that Muhammad is allowed to break his oath. Go ahead and break your oath. The historical background is Muhammad, it was understood that Muhammad can have sex with his slave girls. That was understood. Muhammad's wives didn't want it happening in their beds, right? You go somewhere else. You go somewhere else and have sex with your slave girl. Anyway, Muhammad's wife, Hafsa, goes out to run some errands. He takes his slave girl, Mary the Copt, Christian girl. Muhammad takes his slave girl, Mary the Copt, into Hafsa's bed, starts having sex with Mary the Copt in Hafsa's bed. Hafsa comes home early, catches Muhammad in bed with his in her bed. In Hafsa's bed with his slave girl. She flips out. What are you doing? Muhammad's just going, don't tell the other wives. Don't tell Aisha. They're all gonna complain to me. She goes, tells everyone, right? She goes, tells all the wives around her. You're doing this in our beds? You're having sex with, just rolling around with your slave girl, getting your fluids all over, her fluids, your fluids all over our beds is disgusting, right? So Muhammad, in order to calm all his wives down, says, I swear by Allah, I will never have sex with that slave girl again. And that calms his wives down. Okay, he's saying he's never going to do it again.
Okay.
Then he goes back to having sex with her. He says, it's Allah gave me a revelation saying I could break that oath.
Where is this found?
This is Surah 66, verses 1 to 2.
I cannot believe that this is in the Quran.
Yeah, so Surah 66, you don't understand it from Surah 66, verses 1 to 2. It just says Muhammad can break his oath because Allah didn't command him to make that oath. Allah says, I didn't command you to make that oath.
Don't put that on me.
Yeah, I didn't command you to make that oath. You can go to Tafsir Jalalain and you can go to Sunan an-Nasai, which give the historical background.
Whoa.
But, so you have right there, but think about this. Think about the reasoning. Muhammad, I didn't order you to make that oath, so you can go ahead and break it. How many oaths that have ever been taken were actually commanded by God?
Few.
So all oaths you can swear by Allah all day and all night. Allah didn't command me to say it, so I can go ahead and break that oath. It's like there's these weird issues. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about when I say some of this sounds way, way, way massively too convenient. Muhammad's getting all these revelations. So you can imagine this guy being a liar.
Yeah.
Like just making stuff up. I've got a religion now, I can say whatever I want. So that's the point. Some of it sounds like a guy who's just making up revelations to get whatever he wants and to dupe people. But there's other indications where he sounds like he really believes that he's a prophet, and you have reasons to think that he's really a prophet. So you could interpret that as he really thinks he's a prophet, but he feels comfortable making things up as well because he's so special, and therefore he can, he knows he can get away with it. Or just his desires so massively influenced him that he would think he's receiving revelations saying that he could do these things. Point is, I don't know. So you have some indication, you have a bunch of indications that suggest he really believed he's a prophet. You have all these things where it's like this sounds like an obvious false prophet making things up to just give himself whatever he wants. The demonic stuff, like was he just possessed or something? Again, his first impression was that he was demon possessed. He was possessed by something and he became suicidal, tried to hurl himself off a cliff for this. So you could say sometimes your first impression is the correct one. So you could think he's actually demon possessed. And you have some other indications. You have what are called the satanic verses. That's when Muhammad, this was early on, but Muhammad was upset that his tribe didn't convert to Islam, and he was longing for a revelation that would convince his tribe to convert. Eventually, he got the revelation he was looking for. It said that Muslims can pray to 3 pagan goddesses, Allat, Alusa, and Manat. They were the gods of his tribe, goddesses of his tribe. You can pray to Allat, Alusa, and Manat. And the idea was they're not the main god, but they were called the exalted cranes, like in the bird sense. They were the exalted cranes. The idea was they'll carry your prayers up to Allah. So you can pray to them as intercessors, and they'll carry your prayers up to Allah. So Muhammad receives these revelations. He delivers the revelations to his followers. He bows down in honor of the revelation, saying we can all now pray to pagan goddesses. His followers bow down, and then his entire tribe bows down too. Wow, he's praised our goddesses. And so you have this, everyone's good and everyone's on the same page.
Right.
Except now he's a polytheist, right?
Yeah.
So Muhammad comes back a little later and says, Gabriel informed me that revelation didn't come from Allah. That revelation came from Satan. Satan tricked me into receiving that revelation, which opens, so many different cans of worms. One, wait, Muhammad couldn't tell the difference between a revelation from God and a revelation from Satan? I don't trust anything you say now. If you can't tell the difference between God and Satan when you're receiving a revelation, and Satan can actually deliver revelations to you, you got problems. I'm not trusting anything you said.
Yeah, maybe it was God who did give you the revelation, and then Satan appeared in a form that you thought was God and told you he tricked you, but crikey. Thank you very much for watching that Pints with Aquinas clip. If you like it, do me a favor, click like and subscribe, and please offer a Hail Mary for the work of Pints with Aquinas and all the people we're trying to reach. God bless you.